Hey guys, happy Friday. Today is Friday, May 3rd, first Friday of May. Super excited. May is one of my favorite months. I am here with my friend Jay Gomez, and Jay Gomez does not speak Spanish. We'll talk about that later. But I want you to let us know you can hear us and see us. It's Friday afternoon. I know everybody's got plans. It's Cinco de Derby or Cinco de Mayo, whatever you're into. We already got a heart. Hey, what's up, Josh Soto? So they can hear us and see us. So I'm super excited about this weekend. Lots of plans, lots of good stuff going on. And Jay has been filling my head with some cool stuff that he has going on and getting to know him. What's up, Suzanne? So welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you.
Very happy to have you. All right, so you know they always love the origin story. They want to know a little bit about Jay. They want to get to know you before they go, all right, I like that guy.
All right.
So tell us about you.
Well, where it all started actually is at around 12. I was working with my father and mother. They were real estate investors in Colorado prior to the whole bubble and everything. And, I kind of helped out with that a lot as far as the renovations and selecting the properties, things like that, primarily foreclosures. So just kind of got a knack for it throughout time. A long journey between there and here. Started off actually in the kitchen when I started my professional career, Little Caesars. Then
Little Caesars.
Yes.
Nice.
I was assistant manager by 14 there, so that was pretty
Oh my
nice.
God, thank you, Joanna. You can work at 14 in a little, that's awesome, I
I
guess.
suppose the laws there are different than here.
Oh, Colorado, everybody's in a good mood, aren't they?
That's what it is.
We all know why.
Yes.
They're all in a great mood. But that's where you're originally from. Were you born there?
Born in Chicago,
Oh,
actually.
that's right, born in Chicago.
Right, so-
And what brought you guys from Chicago cold to Colorado cold?
I really don't know. We just ended up there. I think I was too young to really know what was going on.
That's all right.
So we ended up there, and then, through the whole helping them out and everything, I kind of got a little bit of a passion for real estate. But during my younger years, it was more available to get a job in the kitchen.
I love it. But did you always, a lot of people who work for their parents, like my kids have done little work for me, it drove them to do the exact opposite of what I was doing.
I feel that had an effect in the beginning.
Of course it did.
So it called my name again around 18, 19. I decided I had actually wanted to go into timeshare. I was doing marketing in timeshare, and then I realized that sales was quite interesting to me because you got to wear nice fancy suits, and you didn't get to do that in marketing. So I decided to go ahead and get the real estate
So
license.
timeshare, that's I did not. Danny, thank you, and thank you, Kathy. So timeshare, that's more suit driven.
So the sales side is, yes.
Nice.
And-
I've never been to a timeshare presentation.
Well, do you want a free cruise?
Okay, yes. And I think people are, but I think it's an interesting animal, and I want to get to that. But you make the transition. You're out of Little Caesars, which now you're making me hungry for pizza right now. You get out of Little Caesars. You decide that's not where my full-time thing's going to be. What was your first foray into? You worked for your parents. Did you do residential, commercial, a combination?
So it was a combination. They did both multifamily and then single-family homes, primarily rentals. So essentially what they would do is they would get a foreclosure, a short sale that had a large amount of equity, and they'd pull the equity out and reinvest that equity, and then rent out the property.
Did you get that at an early age? Because to me, that would be something I'm like, I am so bored of that conversation at that age.
I understood. So
That's good.
I started investing in stocks around 9 with my allowance.
Okay, wait.
So-
So how do you get into stocks at 9? That's fascinating. So you're a numbers guy.
Yes.
You're super good at numbers.
Very analytical.
Okay, see, wow.
Yeah, so my mom actually got me into the stocks. She said, so I got 50 cents a week as an allowance as a kid and saved it up. And she said, basically I could take that money and invest it and turn it into more money. And I was like, that's a good idea.
Mom's got it going. I love that. Because I think a lot of times people take that, they don't, first of all, parents don't always understand investing and saving. And so to impart that on a 9-year-old is pretty cool. And the fact that you could receive it and accept it and understand, that's even cooler to me. So did you want to get into the stock market?
I did. I actually was interning for financial advising with my buddy Kyle Davis for about a year throughout college.
Nice.
He's with Integrity Financial. kind of realized the whole insurance piece of it was not something that interested me. So I went back into the kitchen after that.
Did you go back to Little Caesars?
No, I went into Kappa at the Four Seasons.
Oh, yes, that's beautiful.
Yes,
there.
and then Norman's at Ritz-Carlton.
Nice.
Bull and Bear at Waldorf Astoria.
You did? All right, so what did you do in the
Right.
kitchen? I really don't know the answer to this. So.
So I was between prep chef and then line cook and then sous chef eventually.
Nice. So Bull and Bear, a friend of mine, Raphael.
Raphael Federic.
I love him. Anytime I go out there, he hooks me up in a very kind way.
Yes.
But the Bull and Bear has amazing food in their bar. I mean, I love the Waldorf, but I also love the Ritz. That Norman's is to die for.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And all of the restaurants there, I think a lot of people don't, they think they're touristy, so they don't get out to them.
Right.
And they're not. They're fine dining. It's really good stuff.
Absolutely.
So you have a passion, so you can actually cook.
Yes, fairly well actually.
So what's your favorite dish? Because I can't cook anything.
I love
zero.
octopus.
You like octopus? See, to
I do.
me, I like it, but if it's not prepped right, I don't. I just want to throw it in the garbage.
I understand.
It's either too tough or too I'm not gonna say it. Too smelly. Wow, Ted, on a Friday afternoon, really? So it's got that texture to it that could be tough,
Right.
but if it's done right, you've not had octopus is to die for.
Same goes for calamari.
I agree.
It's very delicate.
I agree. It's very delicate.
Tapa Toro has one of the best octopus.
Tapa Toro, where's that?
That's International Drive.
Yeah, see, I'm
Shout
a
out,
foodie,
Allie.
so I love it. Any of you people who are foodies and want me to go out and do a remote show, I will go.
I actually had that concept.
You did?
Yeah, I was thinking about touring Orlando and doing sort of.
So we've started to do that. The name of the show is Taste with an exclamation point. So we're going to hit restaurants, craft cocktail bars, also some of the arts, just taste in general.
Awesome.
Trying to get people a little more in tune to what's going on in Orlando and not just so touristy, because we have some amazing places.
Absolutely.
All right, but then at what point, if you have that creative side, at what point do you go, all right, I'm going to go back into sales?
I saw the difference in total money that could be made. To be honest.
Green, baby, green.
Yeah, it was $13 an hour, $150,000 a year, and I was like, well, it seems pretty obvious which one's the better long-term career.
But a lot of times creatives do not have, they don't have the left brain part of it, but you obviously do, because you like finances, you like numbers.
Well, yeah, I'm very analytical. However, with the whole creative side, it helps in sales because especially with the timeshare thing, you have to sell the dream.
Right.
So you have to be able to create the dream in order to be able to sell it.
So talk about timeshare a little bit, because we live in a timeshare capital, I swear. If it's not, it should be. And maybe Vegas is top, I don't know, but I just know it's everywhere here. I think a lot of people have a misconception about it. There's fear, there's trepidation. I think there's a lot of bad apples out there that might have caused that for people. So talk about what your day would look like on that. And you're getting back into that, correct? Maybe?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so talk about what that looks like, because I think a lot of people are fascinated by the concept, but they just don't get it and they're afraid.
Well, yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of issues in the past with reps with a lack of integrity and so forth that would cause people to kind of have a fear or to feel that they may have been misled or what have you. Reality of it is it's a product that is not meant for everyone. However, for those that would actually use it and get a good use out of it, it can be very beneficial and save a lot of money in the long run. So essentially they bring people in with the promise of a free cruise or a $100 gift card or whatever.
You get like a stay at the staycation place. There's all sorts of things to get you in the door.
Absolutely. So they get in there, they have no intention of buying anything.
None whatsoever.
And they let you know that right away.
I have no doubt in my mind.
So you let them know that, hey, that's absolutely okay. Luckily 25% of people who we talk to, they end up joining with us today. So either way, I'll still treat you with respect and dignity. It's no problem whatsoever. Just, have an open mind to what I'm about to tell you and be honest with me if it benefits your family or not. Does that sound fair enough? And
well, look, he's going right into it. I hear it.
You're
You're like, of course it sounds good. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fair. And then you ease in, build up credibility, etc.
What's up, Steve?
Move forward with essentially showing them what the benefits would be applicable to them individually as a
Well,
family.
you have to cater it, right? You have
Right.
and you all have to do that in such a short amount of time.
Absolutely.
Because, I don't know what happened. Hold on,
It's
this is
the
my
LinkedIn Live.
LinkedIn. Look at it. Hold on. Look. I don't know what's going on. We're trying to learn. Hey, Rebecca, what's going on? How are you? There.
There we go.
All right. I'm learning. Hey, Suzanne, thank you. So, yeah, I think you have to cater it to that particular family, and you have to know it kind of in a quick.
Right.
I mean, you got to kind of assess the situation pretty quickly, what their points are of maybe not wanting to do it. A lot of them go in. I know they go in with the mindset of, I don't care if he offers me gold, I am not signing. But you talk them through. You actually, like we should do on hey Ada, like we should do on every transaction.
Absolutely. It's really an emotional purchase. So you have to find what really matters to them individually. There's core things that matter to all of us as humans. However, for the individual family, there's certain things, whether it be their daughter is their favorite daughter and they need to spend more time with her before she graduates college, whatever the case may be. It's just like when you sell a car, one person may buy it for gas mileage, another one buys it because it's faster than another one. So they still buy the same car for a different reason.
Right.
So the same goes, I think, in sales, no matter what.
Well, I think you're right. And if you're not listening to your potential client, then you're doing everybody a disservice. You have to really figure out what their needs are. I think that's in any business, not just real estate or timeshare. Right. It's every business. If you're trying to get a client and you're not paying attention to what they're telling you and you're too busy waiting to respond rather than listening, that's where a lot of salespeople fall flat.
Absolutely. You have to be basically a psychiatrist.
You do. A bartender, psychiatrist. I always go with bartender. What's up, Jess? How you doing? Happy Friday. But the market is still big here. It's not. I know there were issues with everything when 2007, 2008 crash came.
Right.
But who doesn't want to be in Orlando, and who doesn't want to have a place, however that works, at different locations around the world?
Right. Yeah, and Orlando, the numbers have been incredible as far as tourism. Here in Florida, 126 million tourists last year, and they're expecting that to jump by 29 million this coming year. So there's definitely a large room for untapped profits in the tourist market all around. Not only in timeshare, but just in general with everything here in Orlando and throughout Florida.
Do you plan on, is that like, I know this is the next step, you're going to stay in that for a while. What are your plans?
So the next plans is the short-term rental market in Colombia.
Oh, that's right. All right. So talk about that a little bit. I'm fascinated because I would like to go to Colombia.
Well, we'll go, but it's fairly recent, as in the last couple weeks, I've been starting to develop this concept and do some research on what the potential profits would be in such a market. However, I've noticed that Colombia is now the number two growing tourist market in the world.
Really?
Yeah, so that's pretty incredible, and I wasn't aware of that until I started to actually research it a little bit.
So short-term rentals would be attractive to Americans, Europeans? Is that the thought process, or?
Right, and then there's also a lot of people who go there to work remotely. So the cost of living there is much lower, as well as rental rates and all of that. So if you have the ability to work remotely, of course you're going to seek lowest expense with highest reward.
Right.
So Colombia is beautiful. Great time, great experiences. So
I don't know if I've been to Colombia. I've been to Costa Rica, but I think Colombia, that's further. That's embedded a little further more in South America.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I have not been there yet, but I think people are talking a lot about it, so it's definitely on the radar for business and growth and expansion, for sure.
Absolutely, and I've actually seen quite a number of people looking into investing over there, which, dealing with investors in real estate, that's kind of calling my attention.
Right. Well, tell me about your business. Tell me about how, because a lot of people in here, they're not in real estate, right? But they like to hear how you have managed to grow your business, how you've managed to overcome the obstacles. What are some of the things that you've done? What are some of the obstacles you've had, and then what are some of the things you've done to overcome them to continue to progress?
As far as obstacles, there's been a condo hotel thing. It's very hard to get financing on a condo hotel. So, found that out through the hard way of losing a couple of deals through that. However, that's been only the primary issue has been just,
What about being on your own and being a commission-only person?
I've always worked for commission and sales, so I wasn't expecting anything else.
That's good.
So when I had left my job, I had plenty of savings to be okay
That's
throughout
smart.
this time.
Well, I think that's so that's really important. That's what I was going to get at and try to ask you more. I'm glad you shared that. I think a lot of people want to make the leap, and we try to encourage them to do that on the show, because if you're in a job that you're not happy with and it's 9 to 5, and I mean, there's just so many things that people, when you're dreading Monday mornings like you're going to die that day,
Right.
you probably need to rethink what you're doing and how you're doing it. But what Jay's saying is he had put away money. Like he didn't make the leap and have $0 and then go straight commission. You have to have some sort of buffer. So when we encourage you to make the leap, we also want to encourage you to be able to sustain yourself and your family for a while, because commissions can take a while to kick in.
Absolutely. I would say have a year's salary prepared
There you
and cut expenses, increase income somehow, whatever you have to do during the buffer zone time, just do it.
But was it worth it?
Yes.
See, that's the thing. I think people, because they're afraid or because they have so many naysayers around, they think that it sounds great, but it's a pipe dream for them, and they're never going to make it, and they're still going to be clocking in and clocking out until they, die. And yet, I think there's so many people with creativity like you that have ideas, that have the talent, and it just goes untapped because they don't have the resources and don't know how to plan for a commission-only job. I've only ever worked commission-only.
All right.
I've done consulting. I take that back. I probably had a W-2 job when I was in high school, college. But as far as being on my own professionally, it's always been commission. So we have always lived in insurance. It was once a month I got paid.
Okay.
Once a month. And so you have to adapt to that. So if you're used to salary, what Jay is saying is make sure you've put it away. You've got your buffer. And then if you want to take your leap, guess what? Maybe not that job, but that career is always going to be there if you want it to be. But why not take the leap if you've got the resources?
Absolutely. And for me, honestly, it was almost an accident. I had left my job. I had my real estate license, and I was like, what should I do? Luckily, within a week of that, I had a few friends who wanted to invest in short-term rentals. And I was like, well, you know what? I have my real estate license. Let's just go ahead and do it. So we did, and it's been very good so far. However, since we're retargeting, I think I'm actually going to go back into timeshare.
Which it's so fascinating to me, because I get stressed out for people in timeshare, because it's to me it seems like a high pressure. That's a little outside of my wheelhouse. I know that I have friends that are very successful at it, and they eat it for breakfast, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'll buy it for you, right? So you listen to all of the stories. It's the same kind of objections we get in anybody who we're going to business for,
Right.
or trying to get business from. But I think that is cool that you're in that. You wanna go back. You want to figure it out, and you obviously have a plan.
Yeah, so, the pressure is. The ones who don't do well allow the pressure to get to them, and the mind is the strongest thing, so it can work for you or against you. Like I said, you just ignore the pressure. Kind of block it out, live in a delusional reality where the pressure doesn't
I like
exist.
that.
And, if you're going to sell the dream, you should live in a dream world in order to be able to do that.
Agreed.
So, the plan really is just personal development. It's not the profit, it's really who you become. When you're in a sales environment like this, everything really relies on you as a person and what you're able to accomplish. And you are unable to blame anyone other than yourself for anything. So when you have that...
People don't like that, Jay.
Yeah, but that's
They
necessary.
literally don't like that at all.
It's necessary, though, and when you are able to have that self-awareness and that honesty with yourself, the level of development and achievement that you reach is just...
Well, yeah. Once you take responsibility, I have people that'll come and say, "Well, that person's making me unhappy, and that person's making me unhappy." And this used to be a pet peeve of my kids, and still is. I'd say, nobody can make you unhappy. You're
Right.
choosing to be happy or unhappy. That's a lot for somebody to take on because it's so much easier to blame. If you can get past that, which is the mindset Jay's talking about, I mean, sky's the limit. If you can get past that and realize that you're ultimately responsible for everything that you're doing, I mean, it's on you.
Absolutely.
It's totally on you. No matter what job you're in or what part of life you're in, it's 100% on you. All right, so talk about the quote. The quote.
Oh, the quote.
Yes. So that was something, one of the longer quotes I've ever posted, but I liked it.
All right.
So tell us about that.
It was,
that was the title of the show, by the way.
Right. So if anyone can do it or anyone can have it, it has no value. That was from Grant Cardone.
I love Grant.
I mentioned that with the applicability towards characteristics and qualities as a person. You know, Zig Ziglar's Quality of Success is a big proponent of this. Anyone can procrastinate. Anyone can blame somebody else for their failures. Anyone can be lazy. Anyone can do any of these things. So there's no value. Everyone has an opinion, but unless it's founded with some sort of sourcing and some sort of actual research behind it, there's no value behind it. As people, we have a tendency to rely on system one behaviors of believing whatever resources are available to us.
Very true.
So we'll listen to people's opinions and allow it to steer us in our lives. And in actuality, there's really no value behind it. The only value that there can be is something that, for example, if someone with a PhD gives you, you know, in statistics, for example, gives you some advice on some statistics that you're seeking advice on, that might be a true founded belief and a true founded factual, I don't want to say opinion, but it could be factual.
Right.
So there's some value behind that because look at what he had to go through in order to come up with that judgment.
Correct. So where's the value part come in? Because I think people, they don't want to hear that. So if anyone can do it, what is it? If everyone can do it,
or anyone can have it,
it has no value. I love that because I think that there's so many applications to that, but basically in my mind what it's saying is that you have to differentiate yourself. You have to go for things that if everybody could get it, then what's the point of it?
Right.
I don't know. And so it's the same on the side of if you are lined up with 25 realtors and I can't tell the difference between you and the other 24, then there's not a lot of value to Jay, or not a lot of value to me as a lender. If I never look like the same lender all the time, but let's say my products are the same, and I don't provide any, because all our products are the same. If I don't provide something that's additional, that's better, that I stand out from the crowd, then I have no value to anyone. If I'm just cookie cutter, what good does that do?
Right, and you have to be willing to do whatever you have to do in order to make the goal come into reality. I'm going to help a client move after this, actually, because
That's nice.
You have to go above and beyond. You have to be the extra mile in order to get ahead in this game.
And they're never going to forget that about you, right?
And I'll get them a nice gift to put into their house, like a painting or something like that. Who gave that to you? My realtor. Oh my gosh, what a great guy.
Totally different. Look, I talk about realtors real quick on this. If the only thing you're posting on social media is the key from the title company, and everybody's doing the key, and it says first time, got your home, and that's it. Is that all you've done? Or God forbid if you get cheap champagne, come on. Come see me, I will help you. It doesn't differentiate you, that's nothing. Everybody does the exact same thing. You have to figure out how to not only make sure that relationship is solidified by doing something different, but for the next people, or for them to even refer somebody to you, you have to do something that sets you apart. Buying a painting, of course, every time people walk in that house, they're going to say, beautiful painting. Where'd you get that? Jay Gomez, my realtor. I mean, I don't know how, that is so powerful. And yet, really simple. It's not like it's rocket science, no offense. You just have to think differently. Oh, Noah's on. What's up, Noah?
Noah, what's up?
What's going on, brother? You have to think differently. And a lot of people are they're either afraid of it, they're cookie cutter. Everybody who sends, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, I know what day of the month all of the newsletters are coming.
Right.
Because I get 400 of them. And they're all the same except a different name is in them. If that's the only thing you're doing, then you're not setting yourself apart and you're not going to make the impact that he's talking about. And then where's the value? Why would I use you if I know that I'm getting the same newsletter that 400 other people are getting and I'm getting it from the other 30 or 40 agents, for example, in your office. It doesn't make me feel special.
Right.
People want to feel special.
I'm not a big fan of social media for myself. As far as getting business and maintaining business, I prefer the personal relationships, which is something that's lost in today's world.
I agree with you.
And I feel like that's what really sets me apart is I don't do the fake relationship. Oh, you need a realtor, so I'm a realtor. That's not me. I'm very specific of who I'm willing to work with. It's not the other way around.
No, I like that. Let's talk a little bit about that too before we start to close. I think it's important for any business you're in, including real estate, including mortgages. You really do. It has to be a symbiotic relationship. I mean, if it's not the right client for Jay, or the right buyer or seller, or not the right borrower for me, and sometimes not the right real estate agent for me, if it's not going to do anything but cause me grief, and it's not going to be a productive relationship, it's okay to not take that client on. And I think a lot of people are so caught up in I take everybody.
Right.
And just throw all this paint against the wall and hope something sticks. And honestly, I think that's such a disservice to our industries, any business you're in, and it's such a disservice to the client. I think you have more value than that. We as professionals have more value. And if it doesn't work, trust me, it's not going to be worth the money in the end. You like the Cinco de Mayo spirit? Yeah, it's crazy. Cinco de Derby, baby. Cinco de Derby. But I think it's so important for us. Hey, Lori. So important for us to be able to say that, right? Because you're also valuing yourself.
Right.
And listen, there's no better thing to look at somebody and go, I'm just not the right realtor, mortgage broker, business owner for you.
Or at this time. I usually say at this time. I don't think we're fit to work together at this time. I like
that. I think it's important to have the strength and the courage to do that. You will save yourselves so much heartache and struggle. I have kept clients on, and my clients vary from insurance to title to mortgage to consulting, much longer than I should have in many instances. And when I'm at my breaking point, that's where I'm like, I've got to be better about this. I have to say no sooner. I have to cut the relationship sooner. I have to figure out what's best for me too, and it's okay for it to be best for you. Sometimes it being best for them isn't the number one thing that's going on. You are important, and if you're not feeling like this is going to be a productive relationship for you, then it's time to pass them on. Well, say later, we love you. Bless and release.
You know what Warren Buffett says, the difference between successful people and very successful people is very successful people say no to almost everything.
I like that.
And to allow one client to stress you out or to give you too much grief or too much hassle, you're doing a disservice to your other clients because you're not able to give your full focus, your full mindset, your full happy you. And that's really where our business comes to, is how happy we are, our mindset.
And how bad is it that you've got this amazing client, whatever business you're in, and you're focusing, 50 to 75% of your time on the problem child, instead of being able to give them happy service and happy-go-lucky stuff. All right, so we're going to share all of Jay's contact information, how you can reach out to him. He's obviously a wealth of knowledge. If you have any questions on real estate or maybe where to go to eat in Central Florida, what to cook, I can't even heat. I think I can boil water. Or anything about timeshare, definitely reach out to Jay. We'll share all of his contact information. All right, any parting words of wisdom, anything you want to share before we head out?
The legacy you leave is the impact you make.
Nice. The legacy you leave is the impact you make. And what kind of legacy do you want to leave?
I want to leave the most brilliant, loving, caring. It's all about energy. Whatever you put out is what you get back.
Amen to that. All right, brother. You've been awesome to have on the show. Thank you so much. We love you guys. Happy Friday. Happy Freedom Friday. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy Derby Day is tomorrow. We'll see you back here Monday. We've got a lot of off-site remote shows, cool stuff going on. Hope you have a safe and wonderful and beautiful weekend. Talk to you soon. Mwah.